Good morning and welcome to the press conference for Matador. And allow me to introduce the people who are here at this, on this panel. Sitting next to me, possibly the one who has the shortest career so far of the members of this panel, the writer-director, Richard Shepard.
Hello.
All the way at the far left, he very deftly made a switch in careers going from journalism to acting, and just as quietly and as deftly has built quite a career and quite a body of work. He looks calm, but beware of still waters, as the film Autofocus that Paul Schrader brought here last year could indicate, Mr. Greg Kinnear. As far as the gentleman in the middle, forget page 1 of his filmography, which is all about Mr. 007, and think of the rest of the career. Think Thomas Crown, think Evelyn, which was shown here in Toronto, Mr. Pierce Brosnan. And a reminder, if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand a little bit ahead of time. There's already a hand raised here. And if the mic can get to you, and the second one will go there. Ma'am?
Good morning, gentlemen. If Mr. Shepard could talk a little bit about casting, seeing as you're so new to the film industry, how were you able to secure these two lions? And the gentleman, how did the projects come to them?
Well, I'm not new to, I've somehow managed to have a career in the movie business completely under the radar for the past 15 years.
I did not say you were a rookie. I said you had a smaller body.
Smaller body, a more unknown body, certainly. But I've been making these little independent films in New York, little thrillers, and I wrote this script intending to make it for $200,000, thinking that it would never get made as a bigger movie. And my agent sent the script to Pierce Brosnan and Bo St. Clair's company, Irish Dreamtime, as a sample of my writing for hopefully a open assignment for a writing job. Because you certainly don't make any money as making independent films. So, and Bo said, "Is it all right if I give the script to Pierce?" And I said, "Sure," assuming I would never ever hear from him. And 2 weeks later, he called up and said, "I'd like to star in your movie and I'd like to produce it." So, which is a great phone call to get. And so suddenly it was no longer a $200,000 movie. And Pierce and I talked, and we agreed that we were going to make the movie that was on the page, that we weren't going to change it because it was a bigger movie. We were just going to make it better. And knowing that we had Pierce, I wrote on a piece of paper Greg Kinnear and Hope Davis, and it's amazing that we got them. You know, I mean, it's an actor's movie. Since there's not a lot of car chases or anything, it's really about them, and I wanted the best cast that I could get. I did.
Well, there's bullfights.
There is bullfight.
Ma'am, then the lady, then the gentleman.
Tracy Hansen, Global Reach News. Richard, I have a question for you. What was the most exhausting sequence for you as a director in this movie?
The love scene between the two men.
Every day with these guys are absolutely exhausting. Yeah.
You've got a lovely body.
We, you know, making a movie is incredibly difficult on any level. You're under stress financially and time-wise. The fact that we were down in Mexico making a movie that we all really, really wanted to do, that these actors agreed to do it for not a lot of money, was amazing, and they took their work so seriously that, to be quite honest, as stressful and horrible as every day was in terms of like just on my back, between action and cut was a pure pleasure. So I can't really talk about like the most difficult day. The best day was the fourth day, where Pierce decided to walk through the lobby in his underwear, because I knew then that we were definitely going to have an interesting movie.
We weren't actually shooting that day. Right, you forgot.
But it was inspiring.
Question over there.
Mixed TV. Question for Pierce. It was kind of a departure for you to play somebody exhausted and self-loathing killer instead of elegant and gorgeous and car chases. What really attracted you to that project, and how did you prepare for that? Is your James Bond character helped you?
Well, I thank God for Richard Shepard and his script, The Matador, I must say. He came bearing gifts. I went into the office one morning and I heard Beau Marie talking about The Matador. Beau Marie is my partner in Irish Dreamtime. And I said, well, let's have a look at it. And I read it and I thought it was outrageous. I had no idea where the story was going, but when I got to the end of the story, I started reading it again and I said, let's go for it, let's do it. And then one morning you wake up with a kind of crisis of confidence, and it was myself who had the crisis of confidence, and I thought, I don't know if I can do this or not. This is really, this is pushing the envelope. It's great to kind of talk about it and dream about doing something, but to actually then have your cast and have your kind of ducks in a row, I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I've, kind of got a really good career here going. It seems to be enjoyable. People seem to be buying what I do, and now I'm going to step into this arena. And I'm glad I did, because I've kind of somewhat painted myself into a corner with the characters I've played, and there's been a kind of quiet itch in my heart to kind of step out of and try and break the mold, and I never knew what shape or form that was going to take, and it was in this character of Julian Noble. So how do you play a psychopath? I found a wonderful lady who is a criminal psychologist at the LAPD, and I gave her the script, and she did a breakdown, an analysis of this psychopath, Julian Noble. And so it kind of concurred with some of my own sensing and intuition as an actor.
The mustache is really what did it.
The mustache, the village people mustache, And it was a wonderful, you have this text which is Joe Orton meets Hunter Thompson-esque Richard Shepard, these kind of strange worlds collide. Anyway, it seemed like a fine idea to go off and make the movie, and it was a joy to do.
What you just said is what we see on screen. How far is it from the original script? And the reason I'm asking is that apparently on screen, you two guys have become such a comic duo, a la Rowan and Martin, that I don't know if there was a lot of improvisation on the set, but the timing between the two of you just leaves everybody else in the dust. Did you work on it? Did you develop it? Was it in the script? Did you go away and perfected the routine, or?
There was a little bit of improvisation in terms of the dialogue, but not a lot. What was, I think, just the reason that I personally don't do animated movies, even though I love them, is that what actors bring live there is an excitement and a spontaneity that is improvisational. And these guys just had something going on. And, as a director, you see it, and then you're just smart enough to just stand back and watch them go. Without sounding like a cliche, it was really fun. And you can hear me laugh on the film. If you were to watch the film, we couldn't mix me out of several of the things because I'm just sort of laughing, which is kind of pathetic, by the way. Just the director sitting there, but.
Greg?
Yes. Pierce and I met just briefly. We happened to be at a Hollywood little party after we knew we were going to do the movie, and we hadn't met before that. He liked me immediately. So we had a beer. We talked about it. Both of us. I think I had the same response to the script. It was fantastic. It was there's all of the cliches when you think of hit men buddy comedies were not there. It really no big explosions or car chases. It wasn't that kind of movie. It really was a character piece, and we got down there and it felt, we had a good laugh. We both got some Irish blood in us. So it actually, I think the key was to try to be as truthful and, this whole thing was built on just trying to be as truthful and honest with the characters as you could, because it's a bit of a preposterous, situation that these two guys are set up in, and we weren't trying to wink or anything. Just had fun, did the scenes. Richard had written a very good script, and the rest of it just kind of unfolded.
I think what these guys brought to it, just to add, is the humanity to the characters, and it's in a comedy you're not always expecting another depth to it, and because they treated them as real people, even if it was an absurd situation, that gave the movie a little bit more depth, and was one of the reasons I really wanted Greg to work with Pierce, because I think that they both have a lot of depth as actors. And so, I knew they had the comic chops, but it was about also bringing that element as well together, because it wasn't just a straight-ahead comedy. There was an emotional element to the film, which is probably why they wanted to do it in the first place. But this wasn't just about comic actors. This was about actors who had something else going on.
Yeah.
There's a question here, then a question there, then a question there, and then a question there. Sir, and then you.
In that order.
I have a question.
Just put me in the line.
What did inspire Mr. Shepard to link bullfights in Mexico? It's very strange. I think Dalton Trumbo did it that 40 years ago, but it's very strange for a foreign writer make that link. And to Mr. Brosnan, his experience of shooting in Mexico, about the people, about the technicians.
Well, the bullfights are very important to the culture of Mexico, and Matador means killer, and Pierce is playing a killer, and the bullfights in general are sort of another time, maybe, not so much a fading thing from the past. And Julian is a character who's sort of past his prime, perhaps. So Matador as a title came from that. And the bullfights are so spectacular and interesting and visual that I couldn't imagine setting a movie in Mexico without trying to use that in some way, because I certainly feel it's part of the culture there. And I was trying to capture the culture.